Overcoming the fear of getting pierced. I'm going to talk about that here. Coming up next, Body Piercing Basics, episode number 158. For those who are new to the channel, welcome to the Body Piercing and Tattooing channel. Hope you're enjoying the videos. Hope you find them helpful, useful, etc. But you may not know who I am. Just in case, my name is DaVo. I'm a professional body piercer and have been since 1994. I own and I operate the Axiom Body Piercing Studio, located right here in Des Moines, Iowa, inside Skin Kitchen Tattoo. When I first started the channel about 5 years ago, or first started doing them on a regular basis, I did a video on overcoming fear of getting pierced. But it's been a while, and I've thought of some other stuff, and I figured it'd be a good idea to do another one. So what we're talking about is something that I think pretty much everyone who's ever gotten pierced has gone through. We all fear getting pierced. It's the fear of the unknown. We don't know what's out there in the dark. We all have it. It's part of our survival instincts, and anybody, I mean, it diminishes over time and experience, but for the most part, we all have a little bit of a tinge right before that needle goes in. So don't feel bad. You're normal. Most of us are anyway, and it's normal to fear getting a piercing, no matter how many times you've had one in various parts of the body. Also, it seems like one of the biggest fears on the planet with humans is needles. We have it's probably the most common thing that I have a client bring up is like, I'm really scared of needles. I'm really scared of them. And I've kind of tried to think through where this comes from, and the only thing I possibly think of is those shots that you got as a child and all the anxiety that built up and et cetera, and everything that went around, and it just usually wasn't the best experience. One of the reasons why I don't like piercing toddlers and refuse to do it is it turns into that. It turns into bargaining, threats, holding down of children, and everything else that's involved with getting your kid to do something they don't want to do. Bribery, real common one. And at the end of it, you just got a sucker, which seemed kind of like, hey, you put me through all this pain and anxiety, and then I just get the sugar-free sucker? Really? Really? Anyway, so we all have a little bit of a fear of needles. It's instinctive, and I think it's because it's part of modern life and it's part of modern medicine. I don't know if the same thing would have happened thousands of years ago before the invention of the hypodermic needle and the wide use of them, but we have it, and it's just normal, so don't feel bad about it. Next one is, you will survive this. Believe it or not, no matter how much fear and anxiety you have, you will survive this. I often make the joke that I've been doing this since 1994, and I haven't killed anybody yet. It's a joke. It's kind of to lighten the mood, but at the same time, it's very true. I have never came across an experience where someone in the process of getting pierced has died during the procedure. I'm sure it's possible, but it would probably be some pre-condition medically, where maybe the anxiety leads to a heart attack or something like that, or I don't know, maybe a stroke if they're not, under that stress, any stress-related illness. But for the most part, just getting pierced, you're healthy, you're going to be fine. You're going to get through this one way or another. Now I'm going to go through some things you can do to kind of lower that anxiety level. The first one being is research your piercer. The more confident you are in the person doing the piercing, the less anxiety you're going to have, because you're going to feel like you're in safe hands, opposed to just walking in off the street and having some person come out and talk to you probably for a total of a minute and a half, take you back and start doing the piercing. If you have somebody that you know, in fact, knows what they're doing, has a long history of doing piercings correctly, has a long history of taking the time to deal with clients' issues and actually educate their clients, you're going to be in good hands. This piercing is going to heal, and you'll get through this procedure without any problems. The other thing is if you're a little unsure about the piercer or whatever, go visit a couple studios. Most piercers, if they have time, they will come out and give you a short consultation on the piercing and answer any questions you may have. If they don't have time, they will schedule consultations if you contact, and everybody schedules appointments differently. Like for us, online, just go down to services, click on schedule a consultation, And that puts aside 15 minutes. I'll sit down and talk to you about the piercing for a majority of that and answer any questions you need. Plus, you can look around the place. Is it clean? Is it well kept? Does it look like they they enjoy what they're doing? Does it seem like it's a good environment? Is it a very negative environment? Then no, that's not where you need to be. You can get a feeling of the vibe in whether or not they really care about what they're doing for a living. Oftentimes, the first thing that comes up when people talk about a bad piercing experience is, I just picked the place closest to me. I picked the cheapest place, or it was totally on impulse. Most of those are not your best situations, and it can lead to some very bad experiences before, during, after the piercing is done. Generally, if you do that research ahead of time, you'll have less anxiety and a better overall experience. Next one is research the piercing itself. Watch reviews on it. Watch, check out my pros and cons on each individual piercing, or after my consultations by piercers. There's a lot of good information in there. Can be a little bit dry and a bit long, but for the most part, it's good information that is going to, the more you know about it, the less anxiety there's going to be involved with it. The other thing is if you're watching videos, I don't really suggest watching actual footage of piercings, because it's my experience, a majority of the ones you're going to find at the top of the search results are going to be the people reacting the worst. The people that are screaming, yelling, out of control, that's what gets the clicks, and that's what people enjoy watching for one sadistic reason after another. But if you find one where it's somebody that has the piercing, often these reviews will talk about the experience of getting it done, how Aftercare was healing the piercing, and any hints they may have, and et cetera. And that can help a lot to just hear that from another person, even if it's on the internet, of what they went through. Because it's going to be a good kind of standard to know exactly what to look for and not look for. Also, read reviews about the studio itself in the piercer. Google reviews, any review on the internet, they can be a little shaky. It's my experience, people only give 1-star reviews or 5-star reviews. There's nothing in the middle. So never look at the overall rating of a studio, because it might be just one person who thought they should be treated one way or another and was unhappy with it, and they just wrote a bunch of terrible reviews. It could be a situation where there's a pattern with that particular business. Also, if you have a friend or a relative that gets pierced on a regular basis, ask them about their experiences. If you meet somebody somewhere, ask them about their experiences. You know, if they have a lot of visual piercings, go, hey, I really like that. Hey, where'd you get it done at? What was that experience like? And most people, if you open up and they feel like you're really positive about piercing, it's something that you're really interested in, we tend to be kind of ambassadors for body piercing. We tend to, those that collect really like to talk about it when under the right circumstances. We're humans. Some people are more talkative than others, but a lot of us are just, it's our favorite hobby, so to speak. It's not a cult. They told me that when I signed up. It's not a cult, but it can be. Now let's talk about moral support. It's a good idea to bring somebody in when you're getting pierced that you are comfortable with, that is supportive of your choice to get pierced. Not somebody that's going to be negative or go, I can't believe you're doing that. It's going to look so gross and blah, 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 and it's going to hurt, and I'm going to laugh at you. Not those type of people, but the people that really want you to have this because you want to have it. Those supportive people in your life that I hope every one of you have. Bring them along. It creates a situation where it's a little bit more comfortable than it would be if you're sitting there by yourself with a piercer that you barely know and, strained conversation sometimes. Sometimes, we have some great conversations. I'm good at it, I think, sort of. I don't know. The next one is do something relaxing before you come in. Go for a walk. Have a nice meal with somebody you care about. Play on your phone, play a game, whatever relaxes you and gets you in kind of your Zen moment. Meditation, if you do that. anything that's going to kind of bring down that stress level and just get you kind of relaxed and ready is going to be helpful with dealing with any anxiety you have. The next one's a big one. Don't get intoxicated. And I bring this up right after saying, do something to relax you. The reality is most things that get you intoxicated tend to amplify your emotions. So if you have anxiety and fear of getting pierced and you get drunk, you're going to have even more of it. So don't do it sober. Just a good idea. Afterwards, depending on the piercing, shouldn't be a problem. But before, during, etc., it is best not to. And I'm talking about not only alcohol, but marijuana. Don't do it. Next one's meditation or mental exercises. Often people will find doing, if you are practicing or practice some type of form of meditation, it's different from person to person, and there's different levels of it. Some people find counting from 50 backwards before the piercing is getting done helpful. Having something you kind of have to think about other than the event that is actually taking place can help. This is one of the reasons why we often do breathing exercise, where we tell people to breathe in and hold it and then exhale, is to get them relaxed and get them out of their head on this whole, give them something to focus on other than what's about to happen. Anything that works for you generally will probably work in a piercing situation. If this is something that involves something additional, you can talk to your piercer about it. And we tend to be very open to anything that you need as far as, if you need to bring a teddy bear to make you feel better, that kind of thing, or if you have some instrument that you use to meditate or maybe even music. So just let us know. We are going to accommodate you as best we can because we want you to have a good experience. The next one is don't delay the piercing or stall the piercing. It is very common, well, not very common, but occasionally we have people that they're getting the piercing done, everything's done, we're ready to get going, I've picked up the needle, and they go, wait, stop, and then start pulling away. Then I'll sit there and go, okay, do you need a second? And then they'll go, no, just, okay, do it. Then they'll do it again. Each time you do this, you are prolonging the amount of fear and anxiety you have in building it even higher. It's best just to go with it, let it happen, and move on. You're here to have it happen, so let's get it over with. Because the quicker it's over with, the more relief you're going to have, and the better the experience is going to be. Don't be constantly delaying it, because it stresses out your piercer, and when your piercer's stressed out, that could lead to some issues. Next one is a piercing studio, not in all cases, but in most cases, at least mine, is a safe space. React how you need to react. If you need to scream right after it's done or say various different rude words, or, as long as you're not biting or pulling or grabbing, that's the only thing I really am against. Like, don't do that. Don't grab my arm and try to bite me. No, please don't do that. But if you need to say a word here or there or whatever to release that tension, feel free to. We're not going to judge you on it, at least not at the time. I might have to explain to my fellow employees why, somebody was screaming various profanities. But for the most part, we don't care. It's just part of the process, part of getting pierced. Some people react one way, other people react the other way. Do what is natural and normal for you. Small talk. Small talk's a huge one. When I first started piercing, my mentor at the time, Sherry Sears, one of my mentors, I guess, she had the 3 or 4 conversation starters that she would always do with every client. What do you do for a living? If you're going to school, where are you going? What do you want to be when you grow up? That kind of career-driven questioning. Pets and animals and hobbies. Of course, not religion or politics. Talking to the piercer and kind of carrying on a conversation and getting out of just all this focus being on piercing can make the experience a lot better. So be open to small talk, and if you want to talk to the piercer about something about them you heard or that you heard about them, feel free. Bring it up. They're happy to talk about it. Or ask questions about things that are on the wall. That's a really common one. That damn Slipknot plaque. A common fear people have is passing out or getting lightheaded. You shouldn't fear that. That is a physical reaction that oftentimes you do have no control over. It's mental to a degree, but at the same time, if you're prone to that, please talk to your piercer beforehand. They're going to make preparations and kind of give you a little bit more leeway and be ready for it. We like it when we know in advance, so we know to keep you on the table a little bit longer, maybe make sure that we have some juice on hand or what have you, to make sure that you're feeling good and that we don't have a situation where you harm yourself by falling on the floor and hitting your head on something. Another thing you can do is make sure that your blood sugar's high, get a good meal beforehand, and also practicing that, just staying relaxed as much as you possibly can. We will always allow, the other thing is, if you're on a schedule, allow extra time for recovery. Don't be in a mad rush to get out the door. If it means you being safe, regardless of how many people I have stacked up in that waiting room, I'm going to take the time to make sure that you are completely okay before you leave my studio. Mainly because I want you healthy and around, because I like people. It's a crazy thing. I don't want you to hurt yourself in the parking lot. I don't want you to fall on their way out. I want you to be back to somewhat your normal self before you leave. And if it takes an extra 20 minutes, it takes an extra 20 minutes. Happy to do it. Much better than you having problems later on. Here's what it comes down to. Piercings are usually a very short, slightly painful experience that you can enjoy for the rest of your life if you want to. It's a small payment for a larger reward. If you really like piercings and you want that piercing and it's a big part of what you desire, this small, little, split-second discomfort is going to be worth it. So always remember that. Just put that in the back, in the front of your head or the back of your head or wherever you store things, and just think, this is going to be worth it. I'm going to enjoy this. This is what I want. What are your ways of dealing with your anxiety about getting pierced? Please leave a comment. Till next time, here's hoping all your piercings heal with ease and without a single issue. And if you're in the Des Moines, Iowa area, I hope to see you for your body piercing needs in the future. Have a good day, everybody. Take care, and we'll see you in this next video.